You're such an asshole.
All right, so I face a quandary with this one, because much like men are always squirming, the squirmers, like, what's the cheat code? What business should I start? How do I make $1 million without working? How do I succeed in life without doing what I don't want to do? I kind of faced the same problem here. But at the same time, this woman has been very polite and civil, and I think she comes from an intellectually honest standpoint. And so there's no adversarialness, there's no adversity or malice or anything like that. And I think this is a problem that many other women face. Yet here's the problem, gals. I've been getting, not a lot, by no means a lot, but I've gotten basically the same exact genetic question before in the past. And for the most part, as per most advice, what's the solution? The solution is hard work. The solution is selflessness and acknowledging how the real world works around you. People then say, well, I don't want to do that. If it's something hard and I don't want to do that. It's the same thing with the guys. How do I get the girls? The answer, 80% of the thing, is go to the gym and be jacked. Stop trying to I coif my hair with a very nice smelling cream. I got cufflinks. I got jeans that come up to my calves, but I have brown shoes because that's it. Anything to avoid the gym, huh? Anything to avoid the gym. And so, whereas I'm going to be doing hopefully not too deep of a dive. This is the final time I'm offering it. So if girls ever come up to me like, how do I find the Geisa? I'm like, okay, that'll be $250. So there's pain. So people are invested. And I ain't going to do a new video. I'm just linking to this one. And you'll also notice that word got out when I did the last and final, how do I get the girl suck question? Guys stopped asking me that. And I was able to move on from being a broken record. So I will try to be civil and polite, and not curse, and not let my anger or rage get in the way of this. We'll have a calm, reasonable discussion. And then that way I could just say, that'll be $250. Here's the link. And then be like, oh my God, I paid $250. Yeah, because you weren't going to do what's required anyway. So now you have skin in the game. All right, let me go read through the request. I guess you guys can guess it. Dear A-hole Consulting, that's me. A friend of mine had me watch a couple of your videos, and while I disagree with you on some things, you're right on many. Oh, I'm glad you're the arbiter. I got news for you, lady. I'm all right. I'm right on all things. I don't go out there with you're right. Yeah, okay. No offense, but I ain't the 40-something-year-old gal who's looking for love, all right? Your insights on women are funny, but also sometimes true. Oh, I think a little more than sometimes, but I will get to the point. I'm 43. I want to find a man. I divorced when I was 37. I'm a single mom of 3 kids. Yes, I know I'm the most evil person on the planet. You're honest. I have custody of all 3, and they're old enough I could start dating again, but like every other woman, it's a desert out there. That is true. Link down below is a book. It was written for men. I'm not bringing it up to make sales. I'm bringing it up to make sales and because it's going to help you out. I did an actuarial analysis, a statistical analysis of just what are the chances for men's point of view, of finding quality woman, blah, blah, blah. However, obviously embedded in those statistics, whatever you measure for men, would there be the counterpart, the other side of the coin, for a women's perspective. So when you look at that, it's going to be very insightful. But yes, it is a desert out there. Just so any gals tuning in, yeah, it's horrible. Oh, did you? And I have to do this just because it's true. Maybe you got kids, right? You care about kids. Maybe you have some sons, and maybe you like them not to have, and some women, you like your daughters to have a good man in it. Did y'all vote Democrat, put life on easy mode for everyone where they live at home? The number one complaint I get from the guys don't have a job, or a real job, or career or profession anyway. Yeah, that tends to happen when you give away government money and bailouts and free rent. Yes. And I know we're going on a tangent. This is if you care about the future. You want masculine men, okay? But honest to God, generally speaking, if you girls could, you'd vote in a government program to hire government workers to help lift weights for men while they're pushing it up on the bench press. And there'd be 2 government employees with pensions, of course, and full benefits, helping lift the bar. And then you'd all complain, why aren't there any masculine men? We spend so much government money on the workout program. How come men aren't lifting the weights? Like, you lifted the weights for them. Men need life put on hard mode, so they go from boys to men. But never mind. I can't believe how many are unemployed or work a menial job with no ambition. Well, gee, socialism makes weak men? If only there was an economist who knew that. Decisions meet consequences. Choices meet reaction. Many men I've matched with, I use Bumble and Match, don't text back or ghost me. That's true. Yep, that happens. If I go on a date or Zoom with them, they are not anything like what they portrayed in their dating profile. Okay. Yes, I concur. I do not have any delusions about finding Hugh Jackman or Jason Momoa, but can I at least find a guy I'm attracted to who has a job and a house and some life ambition? How do I do that in 2022? What can I do in addition to dating apps and the random social party I attend? Okay, see, that's good you're asking that, because it indicates to me you want to take action. You're taking responsibility, and that's good because that's very rare. If you're asking what can you do? By gum, by golly, here comes well endowed Molly. I got notes, and I even took some notes, and I have some actions, which are going to be the same ones I've recommended before, but no one executes on it. So, is there something I'm missing, or is it that bad and I should give up? Well, you're not necessarily wrong on the. If you go through that book of numbers, and again, the numbers are from a men's perspective, but kind of like look at it like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's pretty bad. I hate to be political, but I can't emphasize that enough. When you pay people to have you health insurance until 26, I mean, I know this is a little bit younger than your generation, but can you imagine what your daughters are going to go through trying to find a guy when you just made? I'm not accusing you of voting Democrat or being a socialist or anything like that. I'm talking generally for the larger audience of women. And I know you want to be loving and caring. It comes from a place of care, but man, you cannot create steel without iron being forged through a fiery process and carbon. So yeah, you're right. Never mind. My girlfriend said to send you some pictures, but I didn't see any way to attach photos on email form, but I could stand to lose some weight, which I'm working on. Good. Intellectual honesty. Okay. Are you working on it or are you doing it? Would be my question, but yeah. But I am by no means fat or obese. Thanks. We'll keep you anonymous. All right. Then I sent another email. You should be able to attach photos here. Send me ones you use a dating profile. Also send me normal picture. Boo, boo, booty, boo. Also, how many guys did you ask out this past month? And also, how important is it that you find a man? Is this something that you can't be happy without? Or is it something you really could live without? And I mean that you've gone 6 years without a guy. So do you really, 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 really want a guy second to your kids? Like he's the number 2 thing. Also, what is your workout schedule? Attach photos. I haven't asked out any guys. There were a couple guys I met through friends on online scene. Oh, I didn't ask if you met any guys on the internet that seemed interested in did you run into people through friends. I asked you point blank, how many did you ask out? Answer 0. Comes out important to find a man. Yes, I want a man. I won't ruin my life for him, but finding a man will be one of the main priorities of life. I really just want to know if I'm wasting my time because there aren't any good men out there, or if there's some other techniques or tricks I could be doing. I like looks like you might take agency. Oh my God, everyone get this on camera. I want photographic proof it happened. I admit I don't have a fixed gym routine. I'm getting on that. That no was the answer. No was the answer. What is no? All right. Now. Oh wait, oops, sorry. Hang on. Boo-da-boo. All right. All right. Let me go through this here. Let me get my notes because we're going to do the deep dive. And so this once and false, I never have to do this again. All right, we're going to go all the way back now to your value system, not your individual value system. I'm talking about value systems of people in general, but we're going to talk about women's value systems. Pretty much everything I'm criticizing women about here, men are guilty on some other regards. So don't like, I'm like, the discriminate. Knock it off. You're the one that wants to find a guy. All right, so first, I've figured out what women want. You guys are, oh, what do women want? I'm going to tell you what women want. And this has come through deep dive, sitting down, because you're not the first person to come up here. I want this. And then like you say, okay, here it is. And then no one executes on it. And that causes confusion. And what do women want? Who cares? Great quote. I think it was from Mad Men. And what women want, I'm sorry if I'm reading this a little bit. I've figured out women want the perfect ideal mental state. It's a perfect ideal mental state. Yes, meaning above everything else. And not only do they want it, they're going to insist on it. You will not accept anything but the perfect ideal mental state. And so as long as you feel good up here, that is your number one priority. Now, you may say, well, I want something in the real world, and I want some changes. That is true. I believe you want a guy. You wouldn't have paid me the money for this otherwise. Girls wouldn't be watching the TV shows and the diet programs or whatever else, or the how to find a guy, that kind of thing. But if it comes to a choice between maintaining that perfect mental state, that ideal mental state, and having what you want in the real world, like if those are mutually exclusive events, you will always go to the perfect ideal mental state. All right. And so just bear with me. Okay. So, in other words, the real world, ideally, the ideal situation is you're living in the real world, your perfect mental state. You have the husband, the 2.5 kids, your career, whatever else Hollywood and the government and your teachers and communist academia told you to have, right? And that's what you want in the real world. But if what you want in the real world requires something that you don't want to do and that would disrupt your perfect mental state, you will live in the perfect mental state instead of doing what is required to attain it in the real world. Now, some people call it cognitive dissonance. One guy says, he made a good point. He says, look, being comfortable, that's a dopamine hit. Not having to worry, avoiding confrontation. Like there's somebody, a bully at school. Well, you will default. Here's where it would apply to boys. Instead of going through the pain of fighting off the bully and largely getting your face kicked in, you will just suffer and avoid that conflict and kind of deal with it somehow. Maybe come up with a rationalization. But by gum, by golly, that's it. And this is for the guys out there. You're wondering like, well, she says she wants X. She does want X. This is where I've had clients come in. I want X. And I've given the dating advice, which I'm not going to spill any beans here. We'll get to it later. But you girls want to get a guy, no matter what your age, you're going to have to start asking out guys. But that disrupts the ideal mental state. Now, it's like, I want X. Okay, you come up to me, household consulting. Cappy, I want X. All right, well, to get X, you got to do the A, B, and C. Whoa. Well, I don't want to do A, B, and C. And so you will stay in the delusional cognitive dissonant state of, well, I deserve X. X is just coming around the corner. I had a buddy, female. Still have this buddy, nice gal. And she told me, Aaron, and I figured out women, guys. I figured it out. I said, you girls know, like, your Prince Charming isn't around the corner. He's not coming. Like, nope, they are. They're coming. He's just around the corner. No woman's ever giving that up. It's like, well, yeah, but, death is going to have a say in that pretty soon. And even before that, menopause, in case you want to have little prince and princesses, in case your king comes. And but here, this gal's very smart too. Very intelligent gal. IQ to super genius. But that all went out the window. That logic and reasoning, the A, B, and C, to get X, that one all no, because it's the mental state. Uber alles. The comfortable, perfect, ideal mental state, Uber alles. And if it requires A, B, and C, and A, B, and C disrupt that mental state, you don't want X. You will choose the comfortable mental state all the time. Figure it out, QED, which I don't know what that means, but the British say it a lot. I saw it in David Niven. He said that in The Guns of Navarone, which was around. I had to look it up, and I still don't know what it means, but it means convinced beyond an irrefutable point. And so I get to part 2. You get to make a choice. What is more important to you? Is it more important to maintain the comfort of your mental state, or do you want a gun? That's why I asked you, how important is it? Is it really, really, really important? Is it as important to disrupt your comfortable mental state? Is it enough to take a baseball bat and bash that cognitive dissonance into a billion little pieces? Do you want that success manifested in the real world at the expense of giving up your comfortable lives? And that's essentially it. And here's where you need to be. I can't answer that for you, dear. I can't answer for any other guy. I can't answer it for guys either. It's the same question. How do I get the girls? You got to work out for the rest of your life. Not 24/7, but 2 to 3 times a week, about an hour a piece. Yeah, it's taking on a new full-time job. It's A, B, and C to get to X. And if you're not willing to, guys, hit the gym, your main complaint is finding employment, get a real profession, a CPA, engineer, whatever, have your act together, then don't go do A, B, and C. It's obvious you prefer X. I'm sorry, not X. You prefer the mental comfort over X. So the same question to you is, do you want X more than you want the mental comfort? And there's nothing wrong with saying, no, I want the mental comfort. Okay, so it's like, okay, then you get to make the choice. I can't tell, because you're going to have to change your life. You want to lose weight, life changes. I got diabetes, life changes. It's never like fun life changes. Like, how do I get the guys? Oh, you eat even more ice cream, and you become you got to move to the left. Yeah, I mean, I know you were kind of an insufferable, solid socialist. Now you become a full ranks Marxist, Leninist, communist, and cut your hair off and dye whatever hair pink and get tattoos. It's work. The real world requires work and sacrifice and investment to have any success in it. And if you don't want to put in the work, that's fine. Then go and choose to have the mental comfort and live it and enjoy it, and don't stress out over it. It's perfectly fine being single forever. Perfectly fine. And I know you say, oh, I really, 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 oh, do you really, really? Are you willing to give up the mental comfort? Because that's why I charge here at Asshole Consulting, because then I don't care if you follow my advice or not. Everyone's looking for the cheat codes. Rich Cooper. Oh, and his answer is always the same. Do the work. So that's the crossroads we're at. Do you want to do the work? Is it really important to you, or is the comfort and the perfect mental state more important? Up to you. I can't answer that. All right. So you got to decide. Okay. So now, where you get to do a cost-benefit analysis. I already kind of indicated this. If you wish to stop living in the matrix, your perfect mental state up here, and you want to go start to affect change and have things in the real world, generally, like I said before, it's going to require work and sacrifice. And I go through a couple examples here. If you want everyone wants to lose weight. Again, this has nothing to do with women. It's men and women. You want to lose weight? What's the answer? Hit the gym. I've talked about this, like people who are like, well, I want to lose weight. And there's 5% of people who actually lose the weight. And there's 5% of the people say, screw it, I'm going to be a foodie. I enjoy, I'm going to live with the consequences. But then there's 90% of people who are fat and overweight and they want to lose the weight, but they'll live in this purgatory where, oh, I'll try this diet fad and I'll do that, anything to avoid work, which doesn't, and then you're in hell. You're in hell. Right? So when it comes to these, and I'll go through some examples, and you could say like, oh, I see. If I choose one way clearly or the other, black and white, there are pros and cons to both. But if you're gonna choose to not pursue this in the real world, then forgive yourself of the responsibility and enjoy life. So being fat, you know what? If you're okay, if it's more important to you to be eating, like, and I've always talked about this, most spouses love food more than they do their own spouse. Guy gets fat, woman gets fat. You have made the obvious and clear choice through actions that you value food more than you love your wife or your husband. Well, then why don't you just admit that? Like, I love food more than I love my husband. I love food more than I love my wife. I like being fat more than I like good sex. Then admit it. Have a talk with your spouse. See if that's all right. Okay, that's not all right with you. Well, I guess we better break up because I love being fat more than I love you. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's the truth. And after whatever, ideally you come to that conclusion before you get married. But then you go live and you be free. Another thing I have we can't use the F word. We have to call them womanists. If you're a womanist and you generally have a disregard or a lukewarm reception towards the male gender, why did 90% of you just and screech at men? Wouldn't it be like, I want nothing to do with guys? There's a male component. It's called men going their own way. I guess it would be the Meninist movement. But okay, you don't want to have anything to do with the opposite sex. Well, go have fun. When you go fishing, no, they still deep inside, they want it. They want it. The wage gap, very germane to you girls. You want to close the wage gap. Okay, when y'all going to start majoring in engineering and accounting and put as many hours in? Or would you be like, nah, I'm okay majoring in sociology. I'll do with my $35,000. I'll just have a nice quiet home, a used car. I'll be okay. Now, I know why I don't make as much. No. 90% of people read the discriminations, the oppressions, the victimhoods. Holy hell, but you're in that purgatory again. And if you just say, no, I don't want to be an engineer. I don't want to put in that much work. But I'm okay not making that much money. And I'm not going to get upset about why generally men make more than women. Your life is too short to be constantly angry at not an injustice, but a disparity between your ideal mental state and reality because you didn't put the work into achieving it in reality. So just like, man, no. Be fat, eat all the food you want, major in easy stuff, get a job that you get by on, go become enjoy life, go fishing, go for a walk, get a dog, something. You don't need the opposite sex. Getting a member of the opposite sex to willingly want to spend time with you and commit to you, it takes a lot of work, a lot of self-improvement. That may not be worth it. Like, well, I'm only here for like 80 years. And most of the guys, as you rightly point out, aren't really worth it. Cost-benefit analysis. But don't burden yourself with the opportunity. I still want. What else? You want to be a mom? Be a mom. No. The purgatory is you had a child and then you outsourced it to daycare and the public schools or a nanny, and then you run off and do your career. No. You either be a mom or you don't be a mom. Dad, same thing. Dad, you either spend time with your children or you don't spend time with whatever. If you don't want to raise your children, then don't have them. Don't do this half-ass version where your kids are raised by the state. They grow all screwed up. Oh, we need the Ritalin. Here comes the therapist. So getting a man, it's just putting the work. Do you want and are you going to put the work into it? Which means a lot of gym time and all that. So there's your cost-benefit analysis. And so how do you get a man? So now I'm going to give you what the cost is, what the price of entry is to get a man. And this will be for all women in general. And I'm going to go specifically to women 40 plus as it pertains to your situation. And everything I say about all women in general, it applies. And this is 95%. It's not complicated. It's not hard. But all the guys, let me give a sympathetic ear to the men. You're all like, how hard? Are we complicated? Are we difficult? We want a feminine woman who's nice, who keeps our balls dry, long hair, doesn't nag. That's about it. It's like chocolate ice cream. It's like, it's a vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup and sprinkles. You can't screw it up. Guys, those few things I just listed, that's A, B, and C to get to X. And they don't want to do A, B, and C to get. That's work. That's hard. And so then you're like, but it's what? They say, no, they want X without the labor of A, B, C, and D, without the working out, without maintaining the long hair, which if you've never had long hair, it's quite a chore. But yeah, it's a simple formula. It's a simple formula. It's just kind of it's laborious to get the ingredients to do this, right? So here's all ages, okay? First thing, this goes for every human. If you want another human to do something, you better realize that they're not NPCs. You are not a solipsist. Look it up. Other humans exist. Other brains and mentalities and sentiences, consciousnesses exist. And they have every right to life, choice, and preferences that you do. They're just as alive as you are. And just where you would be kind of pissed off, hey, you should do X because I said so, being treated like a robot or an NPC, they're just as pissed. You need to accept that men are not things. They're not robots. They're not NPCs. They're individual human beings who have their own tastes and preferences and standards, demands, requirements, not optional, right? And it really helps that if you want a man to stop looking at them like objects, like everyone makes fun of me. I say, well, then they go to the husband store after they get their master's degree and they get a husband. It doesn't work that way. That's another human being. That's another human mind. And if you want that guy to invest in your life, you have to ask, what does he want? So when you realize you're not the only person here, you're not the only sentient entity, that you have to deliver what that person wants. What this is a good thing to know. Business negotiations, entrepreneurship, children, being a good friend. Well, what does Joey want to do? Oh, Joey wants to go. Well, let's just do what Joey wants. We've done enough what we want. I'm not really excited about what Joey wants to, but let's go hang out with. I'm really just hanging out with Joey because I like Joey. I don't like going to the horse track, whatever Joey likes to do, right? But if you start there, things kind of naturally follow into order. The second thing, and I'm sorry at this dig, unlike women, men will tell you what we want. And you don't have an option as to whether you like it or not. Joey likes going to the horse track. Oh, that's shallow. Shut up. Knock it off. This feign indignation. Beauregard, fetch me my fainting couch. Men want to have sex. Oh! You accept. You don't. And look, you want a little inside baseball, ladies? The first one of you to figure this out and start delivering what guys want, you'll beat all the competition. You'll go to the front of the line. It's like, here's the cheat codes. Now, it's going to require some work to get these cheat codes, but we'll use cooking. It's not necessarily a requirement. Use cooking as an example. There is a negative, condescending connotation associated with women who dare cook for their man. Oh, submission to the patriarchy, horrible. You're not a real. Wipe it all off the table. Do men like it when women cook for them? They do. I wonder what the solution is. And there's no subterfuge. There's no double meaning or double entendres. It's not a puzzle to figure it out. You ask a guy, what do you want? Big tits, long hair, feminine demeanor, have sex. I think I nailed them all right there because it's from memory. Be nice, do not nag, and support. That's it. There it is. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup, sprinkles, maybe a cherry on top. That's it. That's all you have to do. There's no exceptions. There's no subsection C dot 552.7b like there is in the woman code. It's a very simple formula. Be thin, long hair, be nice. Here's something. This is more modernly. Get your politics out of here. Get that false religion of Marxist, leftist, womanist politics. Get it the F out of here. No guy cares. Again, decide cost-benefit analysis. Is it more important that you have basically an ideology of parasitism? Is that it? Karl Marx is more important to you than falling in love? If that's fine. If it is, be a Marxist. Be a leftist. Go help out with go do it. You can even do it. Just shut up. No guy cares. No guy cares. Yes, we got it. You want to help the children. Great job, by the way. $50 trillion in government spending, and everyone's still poor. You sure know what you're doing. The practicality, efficacy of your ideology aside, no guy cares. Not one. So I had that. Keep his balls dry. Do not nag and support. And here's, very important. No other man's kids. Now, obviously, in your particular case, and a lot of women in their 40s, that's going to be a not. But I'm talking, you want what they want. They don't want another man's kids. I don't care. But don't say but. Here, all that list, you don't get to say but. This is the list. This is the list. This is the A, B, C, and D. I want X. Here's A, B, C, and D to get to X. And if you say but, then go back to the mental state and accept you're not getting X. So I want to get angry. It's the contradiction. It's the, and I know this is where I have to accept, and men is going to run, again, lending an ear to the men. You're going to have to accept that most women prefer the mental state over X. Most women prefer the mental state over you. Just how it is. Okay. So most people, but women in particular in this situation, prefer the purgatory versus the clear-cut black or white, yes or no. Do I want a man, or or is it not worth it to me? And no, I'll just be forward. No, I'm not in the market. Well, I'm single. I'm not looking, but I've really made a decision that I'm not going to date men. I don't, and then you're a nice guy. We could be friends, but I really have no interest. That's not it. They're going to state they want X. Howl at the moon they want X. So here's that. Well, I don't want that X. So there you go. But there it is. Shall we go through this again for everyone? Be thin, long hair, be nice, knock it off with your stupid politics, have sex, do not nag, support, or you could just be quiet. You don't have to be a constant cheerleader. You could just he does his thing that he's going to do. No other man's kids. I mean, there's other stuff you could go through, like don't mutilate your body with tattoos and obscure piercings. But you get this. You pull this off, you could maybe not Jason Momoa. He is Jason Momoa after all. But you could have a damn good-looking fella who's got good income, masculine, a little bit of a dark side. Because what's your competition? What percent of people actually do this? Same thing I tell men. Do you know how easy it is to get in the top 20% of men? You just have to not being fat, both men and women. You're already in the top 30%. I don't know. Go for a walk. So there it is. All right, now, as it pertains to your situation and the women here, did I plug that in? Oh, that is plugged in. All right, good. I've had it where my computer already conks out on me. All right, so you have to do all the above plus. All right. And here it's more of a philosophical thing. You're going to have to accept that the idealism is over. Whether you like it or not, men are most attracted to youth and beauty because of genetics. The youth and beauty indicates fertility and passing on the genetics and survivalists and Darwinism and all that other stuff. But especially at your age, if you're 40 plus, you're going to be dating at least 40 up to 60. I don't like older men. I don't make these rules up. I really don't. Maybe you find a really good in shape 60-year-old guy. Your chances are drastically improved to find a silver fox if you're hot and in shape. But these guys probably already went through divorce. They certainly have gone through the hellscape that is dating, and the allure, what's the shine of women and love and romance and sex, it's gone. Men are much more savvy. What's the word? Street smart. They're not a bunch of dopey 18-year-old boys that are hopped up on hormones anymore. They've peeked behind the curtain. They've seen the curtain. There is no curtain for them. And so they are very, well, not even lukewarm. They're usually not going to get married. They are not going to be idealistically stupid. They're also not going to be the stalker types because they don't have this idealism. I need her. Like, I've had one already. So they kind of probably leave you be and let you have your own thing. But they're not going to get married. They're going to be very reluctant to. They've already had their kids in the family. Of course, you probably have yours, so you're okay with that. But the Disney fairy tale thing, that's for girls like what? I guess starting in your teenage years when they start forcing that on you gals, up to 35 or your first divorce or whenever. That's for you girls to believe Prince Charming is coming around. Yeah, Prince Charming ain't coming to rescue you. Not by the time you're in your 40s. So there's a good thing to that. I mean, men are not going to be glommy. I mean, certainly always glommy and attachy type of guys. But man, I don't know who because that's usually 40 plus. That's where men are making the most money. Do you look at me? I kind of feel bad. Maybe it's even worse than I thought, but 40 and 50, that's when men make the most money. So generally, at least on paper, they're more financially stable. Certainly more than when they were 25. But maybe not stable enough. I have to default to you because you're in the trenches. I don't chase after guys, so I wouldn't know. But anyway, that idealistic Disney love, never happening. Not going to happen. Or very rarely is it going to happen. You're going to have to date older. One of the main complaints, well, I get hit up by guys in their 60s. Yeah, and they're probably well-to-do. Yes. And if you can, maybe train yourself to see a handsome fellow behind there. Now, like a guy in his 80s, all right, yeah, he's obviously just going for younger play. But yeah, you're in your 40s. Older guys usually prefer younger gals. And so just, is it possible? Like I have a buddy, a female friend. She went on a date with this guy, and I met the guy. Guy was a 9.5. I was shocked. Like, wow, that's a good-looking dude. Strapping young man, works in a masculine industry. I'm like, wow, she got hit. She's like, ew. I'm like, ew. Let's get any better than that. He was a good-looking kid, 6'1", just a good-looking kid. And she's like, he's kind of effeminate looking. I'm like, it's called baby fat. He's young. When he's more seasoned and he's 35 or something, he'll grow into it. But like, yeah, younger guys are a little younger looking. She's like, I'm like, well, can you train yourself to see what the guy might look like? Can you train yourself to see the handsomeness or the values in these guys? And it's either perfection or not. You girls don't have the choice anymore for that, perfection or not. You should probably go on a date with a guy, give him the time of day, see if you like him or not. I know girls like, height is a mandatory requirement. Have you ever tried dating a guy just a little shorter than you? Have you given him a shot? And so whatever trait it may be, age, baby face, although I don't think you're going to run into that at your age. Maybe he's a plumber. Ooh, grody. A tradesman who makes only $120,000 a year. Gross. Could you give him a shot? And that's another thing I'm going to recommend. Go look at him. If you can, you don't have to be falling in love. It doesn't have to be Niagara Falls down there. All you got to do is look at the guy like, I could go on a date. Remember when we all used to do that in the 80s and 90s? You went on dates? Give him a shot. Just what's the worst that can happen? You don't like him. But all of a sudden, I hope all you girls are sitting down. You don't know everything. He might become incredibly endearing. You also might find a personality trait or something else about that twinkle in his eyes. Or I really didn't like his hair, but now here, everybody sit down. Do you know that women are fickle and change their minds? Why don't you just give them a shot and go on an actual date? And of course, if you want to I strongly recommend doing Zoom dates like you do, because yes, you're right. Men do lie about their pictures. Your time is way too valuable to be going out with a guy, physically going distance, traveling, parking, all that. No, you get that guy on Zoom. You get that guy to look like what you want and what he looks like. I don't. Your kids are old enough to take care of themselves, kind of like you can leave them at home. Indicates to me they're still there. Get your kids out of there. Get your kids out. And I say I have kids, but they're getting out of the house. And that is the polite way of saying I understand men don't want other men's children around, and they're obviously the love of my life, but I'm willing to put them away because mommy want to get some. You have to let the guy, and most guys are going to know you're 40 something, like your best years are spent on Lord knows how many other guys and another husband, and you have a bunch of different kids, maybe from multiple. They understand that. They know this is not the produce truck didn't just deliver all the fruits and vegetables. They've been sitting there for a while. We understand, right? But probably the worst thing you could do, especially if you got kids. Number one thing in my life, my kids come first. That's implied. I wouldn't don't put your kids, put like you're a single mother, but you're looking to date. The kids can take care of themselves now, and you're looking to get back into a dating life or a romantic life. And that is about as good as you get. Don't lie. Oh my God, poor Chad Elkins. I think it happened to him twice. He actually set up a physical date without meeting him on the internet. Foolish man. And then they just happen to mention their daughter or their son. Now, like, really, if you really want to be polite, the very first thing you put on a single mom of 3, but kids are old enough to watch over themselves, looking to get back into dating and getting my life back. Indicates that your primary goal, well, obviously your kids come first, but your primary optional goal, not your mandatory, like food, clothing, shelter, taking care of your kids. That's obviously number 1. But your fun goal now, I want to find a guy and have fun again. You're honest. You're adhering to your kids. You're showing you're responsible. No guy likes it where it's like, the Casey Anthony gal or party girl. They want you to take care of your kids, but you don't have to shove it in their face. My kid comes first. No, next. What does the guy want? Guy doesn't want your ex's kids. He doesn't hate the kids either, but he doesn't want them around. And when it comes to your free time, he's number 1. Or you're looking in that market like, that's going to be my fun guy. So the kids are at the babysitters with the sperm donor, as all my single mom female friends. The sperm donor. You got to hit the gym. I'm going to assume because you took this step, you're going to do that. Or maybe you sit down or you sat down. You're like, no, this isn't worth it. Everything I'm listing here is too much responsibility. You don't have the time. You would sacrifice too much of your own personal life and enjoyment out of life, all the other non-male things that you don't want to do. Okay, then this is academic. This would just be for anyone else. But the number 1 thing men want is sex. Oh, that's so shallow. They only want one thing. Yeah. You got it. You got it. And you either accept that or you don't. If you don't want to accept, or you like, that's gross, I'm not going to do it, fine. Be single. For God's sake, ladies, don't be in that purgatory of hell where you think big is beautiful. Don't be going to the shopping aisles at Target like, see? Hey, beauty at any size. Okay. They got something more addictive than heroin. Yeah, what is it? It's called telling fat gals they're hot. Oh, that's pretty addictive now, isn't it? Yep, you got it. Men want sex. And it's very simple because I've said this a million times before, we have a name for women we like, we just don't want to have sex with. They're called friends. The whole concept, the whole point of a loving, romantic, sexual relationship is the sex. It's the physical attraction. And if you don't have that, there's a word, there's a category. Friends. You girls know the friend zones, right? You know how that works, right? It's the same thing, except the guy does it to you, all right? So if you're not going to be physically attractive, don't buy. And that's the largest hurdle, is hitting that gym and not eating what you want all the time. Number one thing I hate in my life, the gym. I hate it. It is my biggest chore. I hate it more than doing taxes, and I really hate doing taxes. But you got to hit the gym. Matter of fact, here's what I would do, and as it pertains to your particular situation, if you decide that you want to chase after the guys, I would not bother with a dating profile. Bumble and the other one. Don't even bother going out with guys for now until you get to the new physical state that you want and are going to maintain. Don't do the new bride. Ooh, now that I have wedding cake, I can get fat again. No. You're going to decide a new normal, a new physical standard that you will maintain. And then once you achieve that standard, take a whole new set of pictures, because then you get a better looking guy, right? You don't want to send it in now when you know you're going to improve and you settle for a guy who's like a 6 or something when I'm going to improve to a 7.5 or an 8, adjusting for a 40-odd-year-old woman. Well, if you're going to become a little milfy cougar, all right, wait until you become the milfy cougar, then take your pictures and go dating. It's like, well, I'm going to go fishing without a hook. Well, you're not going to catch that. Well, wait till you get some bait, right? There's that. And then this is the other one that I recommend for all women. I'm terribly sorry. I am genuinely sympathetic with the crappy, low-quality soy boy leftist men you all raised. I'm sorry, and for all future ladies, because it only goes more soy the younger you get. So all future ladies who are going to be 40-somethings, my apologies even further. But oh boy, you couldn't wait to swap out and make everyone interchangeable. Ugh. Sex is a social construct. And you made very effeminate men and very masculine women. And where have all the good men gone? All right, terribly sorry. You get to ask out men. And it's not about retribution or justice or anything like that. It's imminently more practical. You're going to put all this effort and time into largely self-improvement. And you want to find a guy. Oh, and I don't know if you knew this, you're going to die. So if you want X in the real world more than you want the mental state, here's the thing. The reason I recommend women ask out men is because that drastically increases your chances. It's because you'll do all this work, you'll dress up, and then you'll wink and you'll flirt. But think about, you're old enough, you're kind of my age. Think about the days when you're in your 20s. You dress up, you go to the bar or the nightclub. There'd be the guy, you'd flirt now, and then the guy may or may not have come up. Well, let's say the guy doesn't come up, right? And there was only one guy. All that time and effort you put into dressing up and putting your hair, clothes, fashion, going to the gym maybe back then, or maybe youth just worked for you at the time. And then you sit there for hours on end. All right. Well, maybe when you're 20, you didn't have an opportunity cost. Now you do. I'm going to assume you're a professional, given the way that you wrote was very clear, very, very concise. So you're probably smarter than the average bear. You got 3 kids. That's an obligation. You have opportunity costs. It's one of economics. You don't have the time to doll yourself up and go park your butt over at a bar. I don't know if people do that anymore. Or waste your time on the interwebs if you're not going to ask these guys out. Which I guess with Bumble, because you have to initiate the contact. Okay, there you go. But when you're out in public and you see a guy, all right, and I've gone over, there's a video called How to Ask a Guy Out. It's on my channel. Short version, I understand, no offense, you girls are nowhere near as courageous or able to resist rejection or sustain rejection like men do. Terribly sorry, not sorry. So the easiest way to do this, you see a guy, whatever, social event or something like that, do old school, man. Write your name and number down. And on your way out, like you're leaving, you're not going to do this with the first time you see him. Or you keep an eye if he's about to leave. One of you are leaving. You airstrike. You come in, say, give me a call. Just like, Love to take you out to dinner. Name, no, text me. Don't call because you won't pick it up because you're going to think it's spam. Text me. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. There's no talking or anything like that. It's just boom, out. And then the ball's in his court. But you will drastically increase your chances. And no offense, ladies, if you're in your 40s, tickety talk. It's not death. You're going to have to get in really good shape, but your youth and beauty is rapidly dwindling. If not, it's already gone. I know, horrible A, B, C, and D if you want X. All right. If you don't like that, Oprah has a ton of books just that'll lie right to your face. And look where that got all the women who followed Oprah's advice, right? Am I right? But you don't have the time. You do not have the time. If you see a guy, name, number, text me, hand it off to him, get in your car and drive home. There you go. It's like the gym. You don't want to do it, but it's the number 2 thing you could do to increase your chances. And then just some general advice I've given to gals in general. This would apply for some of the younger ladies as well, though you're largely going to run into older men. And ladies, look out. Some of these men may not be Marxist leftists. They might be Republicans or worse, libertarians. No! What's a libertarian? Exactly. So I always recommend the cigar lounges. This would be a must-go place for women in their 40s. Absolutely. And the reason I recommend cigar lounges is that is a great section of men who are your dating range, like 30s to 70s. I know you don't want to date a 70-year-old, but these are older men, middle-aged men, refined men. They got money because cigar smoking ain't cheap. They're usually higher intelligence, and they're all professionals. I mean, I remember one cigar lounge I go to, a lot of cops. There's a police chief. There's a retired FBI agent. One guy's a real estate mogul. Ain't no poor people there. Ain't no poor people at a cigar lounge. And these are mature men. They don't live at home. Mommy and daddy don't pay for things. They don't live off of Obamacare, which you guys voted in. So I strongly recommend the cigar lounges. B, I don't like B. Smoke is icky and gross. I guess you don't want X. Never mind. Don't go to the cigar lounges. Oh my God. Did you know that it's cigar? You might like cigars. You've never tried it, but you might actually enjoy cigar lounge. But did you also know that cigar lounges, there's typically scotch or bourbon? So maybe you don't like the cigars, but maybe you could open up a whole new world of becoming an amateur aficionado of scotches and bourbons. And you don't have to smoke a cigar, but you could have yourself a cocktail and hang out with the guys. Oh. All right. Gun ranges. I don't like guns. C. I don't like C. I guess you don't want X. By the way, if you were looking for the masculine, leftist, Marxist, womanist, mutually exclusive. You want a masculine man? You want a guy who's got a job and some money? Well, guns ain't cheap. And yeah, it depends where you are. You might run into a bunch of hoo-dang digglies. I just need my freaking gun. That's Wyoming. But go to a gun range in a major metro area. And look, you want an in? You want an in? You want a layup? I'm going to give you a layup. I'm just a babe in the woods, and I don't know anything about cigars. Could you recommend some cigars to me? Oh, I'm new to guns. But I need one, and I just don't know where to start. Okay, well, let me show you how this is a pistol, and this is a carbine, and this is a rifle, and then you get scopes, and it's a layup. Will some handsome man with peppered hair help me? And I don't care if you're a Democrat and anti-gun. Are your politics more important than the guy? Don't go to the gun range. But don't go to the cigar lounge either. You want a guy, but you're kind of against guns? Well, you want the guy more? Shut up about guns. And I'll tell you this, by the way, men. Every girl's against gun. Danger. Oh, my God. Oh, the country was kind of founded. Oh, but the guns just randomly pick up and shoot people. Like, happened 3 times. Girl was generally anti-gun. And then you take the bullets out, by the way. Clear the chamber. Here. Let's go shoot it. This is kind of cool. This is fun. They change their minds and they're fickle. One guy, remember, why do you have a gun? Literally in 2 minutes, why do you have a gun? Well, I work security. 2, I want it for protection. And I turn the corner. She's there already handling. I'm like, give me that. I'm like, there. Go back. Came back out of the kitchen. This is kind of cool. But anyway, ladies, more practically, do you go to gun ranges? Ballroom dancing. Usually guys are a little bit more intelligent. They got a career and a profession. I won't lie. They're going to be kind of more the nerdy type because they're afraid of girls. But every once in a while, there's a guy there. Salsa, swing dancing. I wouldn't do ballroom dancing like waltz, tango, like a potpourri, foxtrot. I do either swing or salsa or country. Do one specific dance. And then you're going to find the guys that kind of compete a little bit more masculine. But you don't want to go like Arthur Murray or Fred Astaire. Perfectly fine places to learn to dance, but that's where your more effeminate men are. You know, the ones socialism raised. Dress nice in public. I've told the story before. This gal was old. She was like 60. But she was still a head turner because it was simple. She had a simple, nice blue dress on. She was put together. Now, she was also in shape, 60-year-old woman. I had no physical attraction to her, but she was beautiful. She was very pretty. I'm like, whoa, look at that. I'm kind of like half tempted, like, God, I'll go find my old man. She'd give him a twirl for his money. And just dressing up nice. Now, I'm not saying you got to be dressed to the nines all the time. But again, it's a numbers game. All right, you got to put the time and effort into the gym. All right, those are hours, multiple hours per week. All right, maybe toss an hour into like putting on the heels, doing your hair, putting on a dress. But heels are uncomfortable. Yeah, you know what? So's going to the gym and so's studying engineering. That's also uncomfortable. But get out there, present yourself, advertise yourself, look feminine. And, you know, another thing, I should probably lower your expectations because you've conditioned guys not to ask you out. I'm terribly sorry. I mean, you're going to have to lower it. This is why I also recommend you ask guys out because guys are like, whoa, well, I don't know. They get kind of pissed off when we ask them out. And I even remember like, oh, I didn't even ask this one gal out. I asked her what she reading. Like, why does it shock you a woman reads? I'm like, all right, yeah. And here's another reason. Oh, I'm glad you're really lucky you hired me. Have you noticed how everyone dresses in public? This would apply for the guys too, but especially the women. I go out there, women dress like crap. At the grocery store or Walmart, admittedly, that's part of the problem. There was this one gal, pretty face, had tennis shoes on and sweatpants. It looked like pajamas. That's why the woman in the blue dress, albeit 60, stood out. Like shockingly so. Why don't you stand out? Why don't you, flowers attract bees or bees attract honey or however it goes. Why don't you be the honey or the bees or the flowers or something? Don't be the manure in the pile of crap that pulls itself through Walmart, breaks out its EBT card and pays for groceries. Go through your inbox. A lot of girls, hundreds of messages. Out of hundreds of messages, I can guarantee you there's probably, let's say 100 messages, probably 5 guys that you will not have a horrible time on a date with. You have to go through it. That's your job. That's the work. And maybe their pictures aren't the best. I admit men have a long way to go in getting decent dating profiles. But, oh my God, I got 300 messages. Oh, men are Go through the inbox. You're obviously going to delete the most of them, but there's probably a good guy there. Probably an okay guy there. And, if you're waiting for Mr. Sunshine to come around and have a Cary Grant line ready and waiting for you at the bus stop, it ain't going to happen. But here's a guy who might be worried. May not be that good at taking pictures, but you look at him like, wait a minute. He's got a kind of a Mike Rowe physique to him. Is that a classic Mustang he has in the background? Huh. But go through your inbox. And I also recommended you go on dates. But I really should have, because this is the advice I give to everyone, because most people in the United States are utter crap. You should lower your expectations, because there are not that many good men out. That's right. Your perception about that is right. You're dead on with that one. You're right. Not a lot of good guys. Not a lot. You know what? We need a government program that'll train men to be good guys, but we'll give them a lot of money so they don't have to work, and then they don't have to go to the gym. They can play video games. We just need more government programs, more socialism to help create strong men. So there you go. All right. So the link down below, the Book of Numbers, take a look at that. Also, this is completely irrelevant to it, but anybody wants to get their finances together, I have a new class out through Teachable. It's called Achieving Financial Excellence. That's open for enrollment now. That's if you got finance. Let's go through the super chats if there are any. Oh my goodness, 257 comments. I'm gonna have to scroll up a lot. Hang on, we'll get there. We'll get there. I got a buddy coming to town, so this can't be too long. And look, now I know you guys in the comment section are like rip her a new one, but let's be fair. And she's honest, all right? She's trying. And any gal who wants to put forth the work and the effort could go ahead and get a guy. But I mean, if there's anything new here, okay, because this is the last time I'm answering this question. Here it is. There's everything any woman needs to know, regardless of your age, but also obviously dedicated 40 plus. But the first thing is, what's more important to you? Success in the real world, actually living that life, or the mental comfort in your mental perfect world? And you got to choose. Because if you choose, no, it's my mental perfect world, fine. Disengage from society, admit you're not going to find a guy, and go live your life. Go have fun. But if you want the other person, this goes for you guys too. I want the girls. What do girls want? Are you willing to do A, B, C, and D to get the girls? You aren't? Then stop it. Don't go to the gym. Go have fun. Go do what you want, man. If I didn't want to keep the girls, I wouldn't go to the gym. I'd just be complete cardio all the time and eat whatever the hell I wanted. But there you go. All right. I'm glad we all learned a lesson here today. No one's going to put it into practice in their life, and this isn't going to change one thing in society, but at least we academically talked about it. And just like reading a book from Oprah or listening to the Democrat Party's platform, it felt good to do it. Right, guys? All right. Mexi Mike, $10. I want to be a PC quota C-suite hire, 1 in 10 at a well-seasoned secure company that had absolutely zero part in building, from typical 1 in 2 failed ventures through growing pains to blue chip level. Well, Mexi Mike is referring to, I want to sit on the board without having to put in the work. And that's another example. You're right, Mexi Mike. I don't, look, that's a trap. Corporate employment, a corporate career, that big empowered corporate career, that's a trap. Hey, let's make hard work, painful commutes, and mind-numbingly boring meetings, enslaving your life away to pay taxes. Let's make that ideal. Oh, look at all the applicants and MBA candidates we have. Yeah, you don't want to fall in love with a husband or a wife or have kids, do you? It's more important you go to that meeting than fish with your kid, right? Right. Mexi Mike, $2. And don't you dare tell us do the work or paper gets downvoted. The printer gets downvoted. I can't see what that is, Mike. The Competent Man, $10. Hilarious. Emma Thorne made response video on Rich Cooper. I know who Rich Cooper is. I don't know who Emma Thorne is. High quality woman. She asked if she was one. Of course, said yes, even though she appears to have no experience or qualification. Well, okay, who's Emma Thorne? And maybe we could use this as a case study for all the women out there. Emma Thorne may have value to society. She could be a great engineer. Blah, 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 blah. Is she hot? No. She could have value to men in an economic capacity. Certainly. You could be an artist, create some great art. And love capacity, sexual capacity? No. But let's see. Emma Thorne. Oh, that girl. Oh, okay. No. That is a 20-something emo child. No. Now I know who that. No. She's young. Maybe should, if you know. But that would be the case of get rid of your politics. Men just don't care. No. I have seen enough with the Rachel Maddow glasses. Maxi Mike, for the love of God, won't somebody think of the children? That's what the public schools are for. That's what the government is for. Comment man, $10. I posted comments. Not a mystery what men want. We tell you, women simply don't want to do it. Right. The mental. If there's one thing for you guys to pull away from this, even though this is dedicated to women, the mental state uber alles. The perfect, ideal mental state, uber alles. They'd rather have that than, well, ideally they'd have both. It would be congruent. Their uber mental state would be affected in the real world. But if there's a choice, it'll be the perfect mental state over everything else. So women don't want to do it. There is all kinds of BS from Emma and all of what to do. I doubt they really want to be with a guy. Right. And then ladies, and you may be sympathetic to this video, go watch my video. Women just aren't that into you. And that's where I try to explain to men that women on paper and in truth do want men, but nowhere near as much as men want women. And that disparity causes men to do stupid things, and there are risks involved in that. But yeah, I'll agree with that competent man. And ladies, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but generally women are not as into men as men are women. Which is, again, ladies, decide if you want a guy, cool, then go get the guy. But if you're, you want a guy like you want a ham sandwich, well then no, it's not worth changing your life for him. It's a lot of work to go get another human being, period, to do what you want. But if you're kind of milky toast or lukewarm towards men, no, it's not worth upending your life. Laughing Lark, $5. This is one of the rare females in our audience. Love you, Cappy. Love you too, Lark. She keeps us in line. She's a sweet lady. I'm picturing all these gals as like older motherly types who roll. They come in here and they look at us as their boys. Rob Fugalski, our Polish agent in the field, part of the 1099 superior race. Problem is women still have soulmate mentality. Yeah, I go with that. Yes, the prince is coming. I understand that. Perfect man will fall from the sky and won't have to do the work or change the mentality. They never come to this realization. Good effort, though, Cappy. Well, and that's where I'm not answering this question again. Because every time the guys, how do I get the girls? Go to the gym. I don't want to go to. That's what they're asking. And so I don't care if these people literally waste their lives, men and women living in this purgatory hell, hoping. Hope is horrible. Hope is, that's the most life-destroying mental state. Hope. Ruining their lives with hope that somebody, not them, will do something and just magically show up. Thank you, but I got highly compensated for this, Rob. I did charge a lot. Never answering it again. Judd Grover, $5. Giving older girls a dating advice again. Look, Judd, did I not take a realistic approach to this? Did I yell and scream and bang my head against the table? I did not. Giving older girls a dating advice again. Cappy, how's that going? Laugh out loud. Hope you're British Petroleum. What's BP? Is relatively low. Blood pressure. Yeah, it is low. I have low blood pressure. I do cardio. I just went for a significant hike with Adventure Dog yesterday. My cholesterol is the problem. How have you been, and how is Operation Evil going? Operation Evil is perpetually being postponed. First by the class I put together, Achieving Financial Excellence. It's on Teachable. Go search Teachable, Achieving Financial Excellence. You'll find it. It's basically the most direct route from here to financial stability. So everyone could use that if you want. So I did that, and I have been having to do taxes, but I can't finish my taxes because everyone's late sending out their 1099 forms. So now I could get to Operation Evil, but I got to fly out to Miami to go on Fresh and Fit, which I like. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see those guys. But the work is never ending. So I don't know. It's just, I got notes and business products. It's just, there's no time. Oh, look who showed. I'm glad you can make it, Dre. We're really happy to have a dignitary such as yourself here, Dre. $2. But Cappy, Oprah says 41 is the new 21. Who hurt you? No one hurt me. I'm just a mental psychopath. I am so impressed, and at the same time healthily jealous. Not in a resentful jealousy, but like, oh man, I wish I came up with that, of Oprah. Oprah has ruined literally millions of women's lives lying to them about what's important in life, and they all paid for it. Literally, both with dollars, buying books and watching her show, and then, or products, and then with their youth and life wasted following that advice. Competent Man, $10. Tickety Talk recently looked up one of my high school classmates, found out she passed away 5 years. Oh, that's too bad. You're not that old, are you, Competent Man? You're about my age. Passed away 5 years ago. People act like life goes on forever and no need to ever do anything. Others are gone too. Yeah, well, Fred self-deleted himself, maybe a month ago? Yeah. And ladies, here's, if you care. Oh, I know, Rob's rolling his eye. Oh, look, here's Cappy going to try and tell women facts again. Ladies, if you care, you have death. Everyone dies. All right. My number one complaint in life right now is that nearly everyone I know, whose friends and I care about deeply, they think they're going to live forever. They don't realize they're going to die. And that translates into an apathy and a lazy, slothful, lackadaisical approach to life. No one is living life. It is incredibly lonely, kind of in a mental, intellectual way, but also in a personal way where, I went hiking with Adventure Dog. I didn't go hiking with any friends I have in Vegas because no one's around. They're around. Ladies, when it comes to the guy, hey, you got, aside from, this is the only thing, everything else in your life ends when you die. So whatever your life goals are, but for guys, you got to be physically attractive. And that ends roughly at menopause. Some guys call it the wall. Some guys I think are quite irrational. Say, it's all over by the time you're 30. No. But menopause, it's kind of that's a mark. That's a point. You could extend it. But if you care about the guys, by God, I hope you're young. You got some beauty. There's still some color in those petals. I know. They didn't want to hear that. I know. Okay, I'm a bad guy. Who hurt me? Why do I hate women? Okay, don't worry. My next book for $99.95. Don't worry, your prince is just around the corner. And you can buy it on Amazon.com. And then I'm like, hey, Naya. Be sitting next over. How you doing? Yeah, I figured out your formula. Yeah, me too. Yeah, this is a lot of money. Yeah, it is nice. Still hiking by myself, though. You want to go for a hike? Oh, no, you're Oprah. You're fat and you're old. You never worked out. Okay, never mind. I'll go find Adventure Dog. Sir Mr. Jason, $5. Thank you, Aaron, for all you've done. Keep up the great contact. No problem, man. Look, I can't solve people's problems, but I can get rid of the insanity. I can get rid of the confusion. I think that's a huge step for you guys to realize, is just that's what they want. They want the mental comfort more than anything else, and that explains the behavior. So hopefully you boys are no longer confused. And for you girls, like living in purgatory, where like it's just living with hope. Well, I don't know how much time you got, or if you wear a watch on your right hand or have no watch at all, you get one shot at this, and then you're dead. Might be a compelling argument to start thinking, well, what do I got to do to get a guy? Oop, I did that wrong. Oh, darn it, I did that wrong. Oh, I did that wrong. Scrolling. Keep those doggies. And here's where I feel very upset that YouTube got rid of the down like or the dislike button. We'll never know if this was like even somewhere near the mark. Did we come anywhere near the target? Did we make any progress? K-Dan, one of our few female agents in the field. I date younger, fit, feminine, insane. At 40. You're 41, Kate? Oh, dang, girl. All right. Here's a perfect example. If you ladies want to take a look at Kate, I thought you're in your younger 30s. It's amazing what diet and exercise do. So there you go, gals. No, she got to date a younger guy. You sly dog. You sly minx. Adriano Ramos, our Mauritian Australian agent in the field. She needs to cook her man. God, don't become a cannibal. Jeez, I know you're from Africa originally, Adriano, but don't cook your man. I mean, cook for your man. Curry tripe. Yes, I got the instructional video, Adriano. Thank you very much. She needs to cook for her man. Curry tripe and butter beans served on a bed of rice. Just so you know, ladies, cannibalism, that's not a good thing. You don't put that on your dating profile. Judd Grover, publicly wearing pajamas equals unemployed and on team EBT. Yep. Now I am somewhat sympathetic towards this woman, any 40-something woman, because it's kind of like the last generation to be somewhat adult and have somewhat of a semblance of society, but the younger generations, yeah. And this isn't me just, those young kids nowadays. You're looking at it like you're wearing pajamas. You don't have a job. I mean, it's not even going to get to this part like, well, maybe I ought to hire somebody who has a different opinion or might have a different insight. It's going to be, I need more drugs. And I don't mean the illegal ones. I mean the prescription ones. I mean, their life will be about drugs. You want to talk about, having the mental state of perfection. It will be drugs. There's Xanax, whatever they do. And then I guess the men, the counterpart would just be, they'll be living on their video games. It's just going to be, everyone's going to become plants. So it'll be plants. Scrolling. Keep those doggies scrolling. I think that's it. I think we're caught up. We caught up. A lot of comments here. Subscribe while you're at it, if you guys would. I've been at like 84.9 thousand for the longest time. I would like to get to 100,000. Comedy Man, 2 books. How to Serve Man. It's a cookbook. Well, and even serve, it's not. See, that's going way too far the other way. I always, dumb old idealistic head. When Cappy was young, I thought it'd be like, the video game Army of Two, except it won't be a girl, obviously, but it'd be a team. Like she's covering my ass, I'm covering her ass. Did a video about how stupid it is to argue about chores. Like, shouldn't you all be trying to bang out the chores so you can spend more free time with each other? She's the most important thing in your life. You're the most important thing in hers. It's not like, you woman, get over here and cook me a sandwich. But I do absolutely insist there is one leader and one follower. That it doesn't work any other way. And I don't even care. Well, I do personally care because of my personality. But on academically, it could be the woman who's the leader, and the guy has to follow. One person has to lead, one person has to follow. But I never like, woman, get into the kitchen and make me a steak. I'm more like, hey, get your ass out of here and get a job and pay some rent. Hey, take the car to the mechanic and get the carbs cleaner. Well, they don't have carbs in cars anymore. WizDivision Productions, $2. Dating advice for 40 plus. Throw in the damn towel. Look, I got paid. I've answered it once, and I am throwing in the towel. I'm not answering this question anymore. And I won. If we're going to go with a boxing metaphor here, I've laid flat my opponent in the real world. Now, in the mental perfect world, the opponent still thinks it's winning or has knocked me out TKO. No, in the real world, I've laid down the law. I've said what it is. I'm not saying it again. I'm leaving the ring with the belt. And I don't care if people celebrate me or what the media says, who won that fight or not. That's it. This is the definitive thing to help women really want to get guys dating and 40 plus. There's the answer. That's the most authoritative answer on the internet right now. It's an issue of what sells more. I guarantee you, Oprah will continue to outsell me. And I'll be the evil, villainous, bad guy for telling the truth. I don't care. I got my money. I got these super chats. And now I'm going to go not to the restaurant. I'm going to go to the grocery store and get some steak and grill it. Robin James, $2. I'm 18 and wasted 13 years of my life. Well, yeah, it's called the public school system. We all did. Forced by law. You're not special. Here's what you can do. You cannot waste another 4 years in college at a stupid degree. Right? You want to, Robin, not joking, because you're that young. Take my course. Not kidding. Achieving Financial Excellence. Look it up on Teachable. And then I'll teach you a lot of important things. People, I guarantee you in the comment section will say, yeah, I wish I would have taken that class when I was 18. If you can't afford to get Bachelor Pad Economics, that'd be the better one. And Robin, if you're a girl, stay thin, be attractive, be nice. Florida Henry. Hang on. $5. When I was in the fire department, everyone was abusing legal prescription drugs. Really? Why? Are they that bored? I always thought firemen were kind of clean. Competent Man, $2. My prior comment was a Twilight Zone reference. Oh, I didn't get it. Robin James again. Glorified mega babysitting complexes. Yep. Look, you figured that out at 18. You're way ahead of everyone else. Way ahead. Boom, done. All right, there you go. Link to the book of numbers below. Hire me at the website. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.